Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 28th of March. With regional focus, Indian PM Modi to visit Thailand and Sri Lanka. Pakistan's transnational train service resumes 2 weeks after Delhi attack and hijack. And amid strained ties with India, Bangladesh's Yunus meets Chinese president, discusses BRI. And now for all the details. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to embark on a 4-day visit to Thailand and Sri Lanka from April 3rd to 6th, 2025 to strengthen regional cooperation and bilateral ties. The visit includes his participation in the 6th BIMSTEC summit in Bangkok and a state visit to Sri Lanka. A report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to visit Thailand and Sri Lanka from April 3 to 6, marking significant diplomatic engagements in the region. During his visit to Thailand, PM Modi will participate in the 6th BIMSTEC summit in Bangkok on April 4. This summit, hosted by Thailand, will be the first in-person meeting of BIMSTEC leaders since the 2018 summit in Nepal's Kathmandu. Ahead of the summit, PM Modi will meet Thai Prime Minister on April 3 to discuss bilateral relations. He is also likely to meet leaders of other participating nations on the sidelines of the summit, with Kathmandu and Dhaka already making requests for bilateral talks with the Indian Prime Minister. PM Modi will later travel to Sri Lanka from April 4 to 6. On a state visit at the invitation of Sri Lanka's President Anurakumara Dissanayake. During this visit, PM Modi will review progress in key bilateral cooperation areas. A number of agreements are also expected to be signed. The visits are seen as a reaffirmation of India's Neighbourhood First and Act East policies, alongside its Mahasagar vision and Indo-Pacific objectives, a statement by Indian Foreign Ministry said.
And India's Home Minister Amit Shah on Thursday said the government was ready to welcome those who wished to visit India for tourism, education, healthcare and business, but warned that individuals posing a threat to national security would face strict action. Participating in a debate in the Lok Sabha on the Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025, which was subsequently passed by the House, Shah emphasized that India was not a dharamshala or shelter home. Those who want to contribute to India's development are welcome, but those who malign intentions will be stopped, he said. Shah asserted that immigration is not an isolated issue, but many issues of the country are directly or indirectly linked with it. He said that this is very important for the security of our country to know who is entering our borders, when they are entering, and how long will they stay and the purpose for which they are here, and added that the proposed bill aims to strengthen national security, boost economic growth, and improve monitoring of foreign visitors. The bill was passed by the Lok Sabha on Thursday by a voice vote and is now set to move to the Rajya Sabha for further deliberation, aiming to replace colonial-era laws on immigration and passports. These laws, some dating back to the pre-constitution period and enacted during the World Wars, are considered outdated and overlapping, necessitating a unified and contemporary legal framework.
हमारे इमिग्रेशन का स्केल और साइज दोनों मान्यवर बहुत बड़ा है और इसके साथ साथ शरण लेने की जगह अपने निहित स्वार्थ और देश को असुरक्षित करने वालों की संख्या भी बड़ी है। अगर ये दोनों को संतुलित करना है, जो यहां सुचारू रूप से अपने देश के कानून के हिसाब से भारत की व्यवस्था को कंट्रीब्यूट करने के लिए आते हैं, व्यापार के लिए आते हैं, शिक्षा के लिए आते हैं, R&D के लिए आते हैं, लीगल सिस्टम को मजबूत करने के लिए आते हैं, वो सभी का स्वागत है मान्यवर। मगर मैं इतनी ही दृढ़ता से कहना चाहता हूं, चाहे रोहिंग्या हो, चाहे बांग्लादेशी हो, अगर यहां अशांति फैलाने के लिए आता है तो बड़े कठोरता के साथ उनके साथ मान्यवर व्यवहार।
The Indian Defence Forces on Thursday concluded the Tri-Service Integrated Multi-Domain Exercise codenamed Prachand Prahar, conducted in the high-altitude terrain of the Himalayas along the northern borders in Arunachal Pradesh. The three-day exercise, held from March 25th to 27, began with the deployment of advanced surveillance resources from all three services. This included long-range surveillance aircraft from the Indian Air Force, maritime domain awareness aircraft from the Indian Navy, helicopters and unmanned aerial vehicles, along with space resources and the Indian Army's elite special forces. These assets work together to create seamless domain awareness and detect simulated targets. Eastern Army Commander Lieutenant General Ramchandar Tiwari, Eastern Air Commander Air Marshal Surat Singh and Navy's Commodore Ajay Yadav reviewed the exercise and commended the participants for their high professional standards. This exercise follows exercise Purvi Prahar, conducted in November 2024, which focused on the integrated application of aviation assets. Moving on, Pakistan's transnational train service, the Jafar Express, resumed operations on Thursday after a 16-day suspension following a deadly attack and hijack in Balochistan province on March 11th. On Thursday, the train departed from Peshawar and was bound for Quetta, the capital city of Balochistan. The locomotive of the Jafar Express was adorned with Pakistan's national flag, balloons and streamers to mark the occasion.
इसमें आएंगे तो ये एक अच्छी और खुशआइंद बात है और ये मैसेज देना कि बाज़ लोगों के जो अज़ाइम है कि पाकिस्तान में तमाम ज़िंदगी मफलूज हो जाए, हर किस्म के एक्टिविटीज़ बंद हो जाए, तो उसको कभी पाकिस्तानी कौम कामयाब नहीं होने देंगे। ये ज़िंदगी रवा दवा चलेगी, ये सिस्टम चलेगा और आखिर में इन लोगों की शिकस्त और मायूसी होगी।
The almost 34-hour cross-country Jafar Express is the only rail service that passes through the all four provinces of Pakistan, making it a vital transportation link for the country. The armed insurgent group, Baloch Liberation Army, claimed responsibility for the attack, which killed 21 hostages and 4 security troops. Pakistani security forces killed all 33 attackers after a day-long standoff.
बड़ा खौफ था जो हादसा हुआ उससे, समझ रहो, और हमें हुकूमत से अपील है कि इसको थोड़ा सिक्योरिटी दे, थोड़ा जो है बढ़ाए सिक्योरिटी, अपनी देखभाल, थोड़ा आवाम को थोड़ी रिलीफ दे.
Amid strained ties with India, Bangladesh's interim chief Mohammad Yunus, who is on a 4-day visit to China, met Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday and discussed bilateral relations and investment opportunities in the South Asian country. Xi Jinping called out the two countries to push bilateral cooperation under such frameworks as the Belt and Road Initiative to a new level. Noting that the people of the two countries have a long-standing history of friendly exchanges, Xi said the two sides have always supported each other and treated each other as equals for win-win cooperation since the establishment of diplomatic ties. He also pledged that China will further deepen reform across the board and expand high-standard opening up to bring new development opportunities to countries around the world, including Bangladesh. Bangladesh's closeness with China comes at a time when the country has been reporting anti-India activities and becoming a security threat to India. Bangladesh hosts over 1 million Rohingya refugees after they fled violence in Myanmar. With US aid cuts and the dismantling of US aid, concerns are rising over worsening food shortages, healthcare crisis, and increased crime in the camps. A report.
Crammed into their shanty hut, Mohammad Jakir, his wife and 11 children sit in despair, worrying for the future as the Trump administration has announced a dramatic cut of over 90% to US aid for relief efforts globally. The US has been the largest provider of aid to the Rohingya refugees, contributing nearly $2.4 billion since 2017. With formal work not allowed in the camps for refugees, Jakir says there is little option besides aid to provide for his family.
আমরা আসলাম যে এই 2017 সাল ধরে এখানে এখন বসবাস করে 8 বছর হই 8 বছর তো মানে চিনি গেছিল এই আমেরিকার রাজে এখন জো বাইডেন যখন লামিয়ারে এই দরটরমতে আইয়া তারপর হদ দেখে ইন আরাম নসনি রোহিঙ্গা হিম তো নসনিলে আর হাল হালত গান হন দিল বদি কেন আর মানে আমেরিকার রাজা তো কি সাইর মদত সাইর তাই আর এই গুরু আর ফুজেনের জানখানে বাসাইম লেখাপড়া কিভাবে করিম কেন জানতে চাই না
The UN World Food Programme said unless they receive $15 million, they will need to halve the food ration in April. An official from the program, Mohiuddin Mohi, said that the revised ration of $6 per month is not enough and rice supply will go down.
Rohingya kiye food maze impact hoye baade dase education impact hoye healthcare ma impact hoye to yanore ara beshabishi pareshan hoye hoy yano zuriya Rohingya community tara human being hama kada khawa dawa gara horibu hitollai tara dolia illegal practice hoibo hendila bad guru lo imbole yare dolia kamul gore ar barun about country bekun saibo hoy hetolla bolke yan bangladeshe control korne wale tarkan channel bolke pura global allah boli challenges boni jaibo.
Charity-run hospitals and clinics in the camps have also been forced to lay off staff. Many educational centers have been shuttered too. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres assured the refugees of his continued support during a visit to the camps earlier this month. However, he warned that cuts from the US and other major donors would worsen already dire conditions.
Several protesters and security personnel were injured in Nepal's Kathmandu after a pro-monarchy rally for the restoration of the Hindu kingdom turned violent. What was supposed to be a peaceful protest turned violent as pro-monarchy protesters marched ahead to Kathmandu city from their designated protest area in Tinkune. According to Kathmandu Post, tensions further escalated when protesters broke through the security perimeters, promoting a fierce response from police. The protest was led by the Navaraj Subedi-led Joint Movement Committee, with businessman Durga Prasai mobilizing supporters. The Rajendra Lingden-led Rashtriya Prajatantra Party also expressed support for the demonstration. In recent months, the Himalayan nation has witnessed a growing demand for restoration of monarchy, which was abolished in 2006. After the then king, Gyanendra Shah stepped down, ending the 2 centuries-old monarchy rule in the country. The royalist stir has ignited political tensions, with Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli reaffirming his commitment to upholding Nepal's republican system. Notably, a pro-republic rally by the Socialist Front was also called on Friday, with participation from former Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.
TAG TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.